What's up, YouTube? So we have another reaction today, more marathon stuff. This is Cross's video, and it's talking about the sales of marathon and how this basically is not a sprint. Like this game might take a little bit longer to ramp up, right? And a lot of people were hating on this game in the beginning because of the alpha testing and all that kind of stuff. They definitely had some very bad stuff that they were saying, and it was just like bad things were happening to the game, and it was just not a good look. So now the game is out. We've been playing it for a few weeks now, and it's markedly better than it was in the alpha, and some people just don't want to believe that. So we're gonna look at this video and we're gonna react to some of this stuff, because I have some things to say. So let's get to it.
You knew we were going to cover it, boys. You can be upset with me if you want, but you knew I was going to cover this article. Marathon has sold 1.2 million copies.
That sounds good,
Steam,
right?
PlayStation 5.
But there's definitely games that sell lots more than 1.2 million copies across platforms, especially it being cross-platform. And it's saying here Marathon hasn't exactly made the splash that Sony and Bungie wanted, but it's just like, if y'all are realistic, right? Like I assume that Bungie would have known that it wasn't going to make that splash. I feel like they had to know, right? That it wasn't going to be a crazy thing like Halo was going to be, or like Halo was, or like, you know, Destiny turned out to be in the beginning, right? And even now, like it's a lot of people play Destiny, whether people want to like believe it or not. Like Destiny it still has a lot of players. When they put something out, people come back to play it. And then there are some things where people were like or some people saying that like because people don't stay and play the game, right? Because they don't stay and play the game after the DLC or something like that, it's not good because there's no content to do. And it's like, what game do most people really want to sit there and play nonstop forever? Right? There's sometimes where you have these moments in time where you're playing one game and you're not playing anything else. You're not interested in anything else, and you're just playing that one thing for maybe a few months, right? 2, 3, 4 months or something like that. And just like, yo, I come home, I play this game, and that's all I play, right? But then, you know, some other game comes out, something comes out that you're interested in, and then you stop playing the game that you're currently playing because like maybe you're done everything, and maybe you beat the game a few times or whatever, right? Or you've exhausted what new things there are to do. You're like, let me move on to a new game, and when, you know, this game gets updated or something comes out, then I go back to that game. I feel like that's what Destiny is doing right now. Like they're going to drop off, you know, players if there's nothing to do. And I don't feel like it's so bad that there's not necessarily anything new to do. Like every couple weeks they're supposed to just keep churning it out. But another reason why the game is kind of dying off is because they labeled, and I keep saying this, they labeled the DLC the final shape. That's like naming something end game, right? The final shape, end game. So when end game happened for Marvel, right? Everybody after Endgame was the thing that us Marvel fanboys or Marvel heads, right? Like the people who go to see all of these movies, regardless of whether how good they are, because we just want to see every movie and see whatever is going on in every movie, right? We've been watching this thing for 10 years. This whole thing's like unfold for 10 years. And we get to Endgame. Endgame, I'm not going to lie, a tear. I shed a tear. And it wasn't because like the movie was so amazingly good, right? Like it was entertaining and I really enjoyed it. But like it was because it was like, dang, man, I've been watching this since Iron Man 1. Actually, since like the Hulk. Right? Since Tony Stark showed up at the end of the Hulk, and then Iron Man after that. Iron Man and Spider-Man are two of my favorite superheroes in in comics and stuff like that, right? So Iron Man having the movies and then all of this turning into the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, this was the end of it. This is everything coming together that we've been watching for years. That was heavy. Thinking about it that way, right? I shed a tear. When Cap caught the hammer, you know? Avengers Assemble? I shed a tear, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. So, like, that was crazy. So the everything that people have been playing for so long. I know I'm yapping for a long period of time in the beginning of this, but people have been playing Destiny for so long, and then when you get to the final shape, and they play through the final shape, and everybody comes back for that, and everybody is there, and the numbers are super high. But that's because everybody's coming back to be part of the end. And then you start putting out stuff after it. They're not going to care about that stuff as much as they cared about everything from final shape and before it. They're not going to care about everything from that's after Endgame as much as they cared about the end and the closure of what they've been interacting with for 10 years, right? So that's why the game has kind of fallen off. And then they come out with a new game, so people are gonna try out Bungie's new game. There are other games out here that people want to play and put time into, and they're done. They're like, I've done Final Shape, it's over, I can go on with my life. I'm sure that there were a lot of people that felt that way. And then you put out more things after it. It's like, it's whatever, I'll get to it whenever I get to it, Like that's kind of how it is. So I don't think Destiny is like necessarily dying, especially to like casual players who people just hop on and they just want to shoot some stuff and they just want to play a little bit of PvP or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not doing so bad. It's low. Its numbers are very low right now, but there's a reason for that, and I guarantee that when they do put something else out, a bunch of people are going to come back and they're going to play it, and then they're going to do the same thing. They're going to finish the content and then they're going to leave. But let's continue on. I know I've been talking a lot. I just had to get all that off my chest.
Next box. Marathon hasn't exactly made the splash Sony and Bungie wanted, even if the game underneath the surface is a masterwork of design. There's a lot to love about Marathon.
Some people don't like the design.
The show ain't over yet. So this is an article.
Every time people don't want to play the game, like, it's always, I can't get with the aesthetic. And it's like, I couldn't get with the aesthetic in Arc Raiders either, but I got past that to play the game. But then the gameplay kind of fell off a cliff for me with aggression-based matchmaking. But that's whatever. You already know how I feel about that.
Written by Rice Elliott. Alinea Analytics estimates show that Marathon has generated gross revenue of $55 million via 1.2 million copies sold on Steam, PS5, and Xbox. Damn, look at this graph. Xbox people, where y'all at?
That's crazy.
People, where y'all?
But I'll tell you where they at, right? Console players are not extraction shooter players. What extraction shooters have been on console outside of The Division, right? The Division was like the grandfather of all extraction shooters, but like it's not an extraction shooter in the way that the extraction shooters that of today. Like, it's not the same, right? It's not the same vibe, right? It's not the main part of the game. It's like a mini game inside the game. So a lot of people might not even interact with the Dark Zone in The Division, right? Like, they might not even interact with it. So they don't even play extraction shooters like that. They might not even care about the extraction shooters like that. So when they hear about Marathon is coming out and they're like, oh, it doesn't look like I'm gonna like that game. I don't like the aesthetic of the game. Who cares about the gameplay? The aesthetic? Right? So then you got the people who are just like, why would I play that game when I would lose all of my loot? Why would I do that? Why would I play the game where I go into the map with my loot and then people can take it from me? Why would I play that? And then you got the other people who are like, so they do a reset every season? So they take away all my progress every season? It was like, no, they don't take away your skill. They don't take away your knowledge. They don't take away your decision making and how you fight in PvP and how you race to get ahead of everybody else and get stronger than everybody else so that you have an easier time of getting through things and PvPing people and becoming stronger than them. Like, you don't lose that. You just lose like the upgrades and you lose your gear. And then the next season, everybody starts fresh, clean slate, and y'all go at it again, right? That's kind of how it works. I equate it to kind of like, some people equate it to a roguelike, and some people equate it, or I equate it to like instead of wiping every match like you do in a BR, because you go through an entire like match, you pick up all this loot, you get all this really good gear, you get like max shields, you get all these good weapons, you get the attachments for the weapons, you get your loadout just the way you like it, and then you get killed, you lose all of that stuff, and you start at square one back in the next match, and everybody starts again and goes. But in an extraction shooter, you do that, but only at the end of every season, not at the end of every match necessarily, because you still have gear that you've accumulated, right? So when you lose your gear at the end of a match, you didn't lose everything. You just lost all the stuff that you were carrying. Then you have more stuff, and then you can buy things and take it into the match with you. So as long as you have money and gear in your vault, then you're good. And if you don't, then you want to accumulate more by playing Rook or going in with free kits and trying to make it out alive, right? Like, and then at the end of the season, everybody gets wiped clean, and then you guys go in with the knowledge that you have, maybe on new maps, maybe on like they add a new map or something like that, but you know how the other maps work, and you're more confident, you know how to fight, you know what the guns are like, right? And then you're able to know what you want to drop, what you want to pick up. You know the value of all the different things. You know, you have all this knowledge in your head of how to play the game going into the next season, right? That's how an extraction shooter works. But people don't think about it that way. They think about it as a looter shooter, as like Borderlands or Destiny or whatever, where you're supposed to find your loot and you keep your loot forever until you get something better, and then you throw another thing in the trash, or you dismantle it, or you never touch it again, right? And you just use that 1 or 4 guns that you have for the rest of the time that you're playing the game. And then like you upgrade small little things about your character. You change your skill trees, and then you keep your skill trees forever, and that's it. And then maybe you start a new character, and then you build up another character, and you know, that type of thing, right? It's not the same type of thing as a looter shooter. It's more a PvP style game, where you have the entire season to keep your gear and stuff like that, and build up and try to get stronger and just play, like just play the game, have fun, right? But you're not going to have fun if you don't understand what an extraction shooter is, or if you just don't like that type of game. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn. This is crazy to me, because at one time, Bungie was primarily console. Seriously. I mean, console player base.
Well, yeah, because they started on Xbox.
The majority in all Bungie games.
And now they're PlayStation, which is crazy.
I think it's still majority even now in Destiny 2. But who knows, man? I was not expecting this, though. I was not expecting, essentially, for Steam users to be double what Xbox
Bungie's
and PlayStation is combined.
First platform is the lowest.
PS5 and Xbox. Steam is clearly the main platform for Marathon, accounting for a little under 70% of the audience, 800,000 copies sold. Meanwhile, PS5 takes about 19%. Xbox, including consoles, PC, and cloud. Oh my God. So all those included. Accounts for a bit over 11%. Marathon is technically a first-party Sony title, so seeing the home console struggle to break 20% of the volume is a notable data point for the ongoing platform agnostic.
It's just because it's an extraction shooter.
Certainly continue being multi-platform, despite Sony reportedly pulling back on PC releases. As for Marathon, the consensus amongst hardcore players who push through their awkward onboarding phase, myself included, is that it's fantastic. The gunplay, aesthetic, and presentation are among the best in the shooter genre. He ain't lying. It actually is really like, look, man, I'll be the first to raise my hand here and tell you I was planning on dooming this game all the way down, but we haven't put 200 hours.
Everybody was. Everybody was.
Right. Now, how that's going to be over the long run, I don't know. But especially with the Cryo Archive map, bro, they cooked. They really did cook. Now, whether or not people are going to experience that or not,
I'm never going to experience. I may try. The main reason why I don't want to go into the Cryo Archive map is because I don't have friends that play this game with me, right? If I had like people that I consistently played with the whole time, then I would play Cryo Archive and I would try it. We probably wouldn't be good at it at first, but if I had people that were on the same page and we were willing to go in and lose our stuff to learn how to play the map, and then like really like put our heads together and like get better at playing the map, then I would do it, but I don't have that. So it's like I don't want to go into the map in matchmaking and then not be good enough, right, to carry the team, and also not be good enough to where I feel like I'm dragging the team down and the other two people are just way better than me and I'm being dragged along, you know what I'm saying? And I'm being like dead weight. So it's hard because every time you go into a map, you're playing with a different set of people and everybody might not be on the same page. And it's like, y'all got to try to get on the same page as soon as y'all can to go in and do what y'all got to do. But if everybody doesn't know what's going on, then you will quickly lose, right? So if this Cryo Archive is just not a map for solo players. It's just not a map for solo players. So it's just something that I may not really get to experience in its entirety. Like, I may never get guns and never get loot from Cryo Archive. I may never benefit from that, right? Unless I blow up on the internet and it blow up enough to get a bunch of people to come to the stream, and then, you know, it was like what it was when it was Valorant, and I have people that come and play every day, and then we always, or maybe I might hook up with some like other content creators and we all play and we just kind of like hunker down and try to get better at doing Cryo Archive, or somebody can like help me, teach me, you know what I'm saying? Cryo Archive, and then we can go in knowing that, you know, I'm gonna suck balls in the beginning, and I have a job, so I'm not gonna be as good as fast. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. This is not a employed person job, but I choose to play it anyway because it's a really cool game. But yeah. Anyway.
You obviously see the numbers. A great game doesn't always equal an immediate hit, though.
That's
as
true.
Shown by our estimates. Things are looking lukewarm right now, but this might be one of those marathon, not a sprint situation.
Yes, you had to. He said.
Why was it?
He didn't read it. He said had to, didn't I? But yes, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That is exactly right. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. When people will learn, people will get into the game, people will try the game out, because as people play the game and people see that people are still playing the game and they continue to get on the game, the people that were curious about the game might give it a try. People that were curious about a real extraction shooter, taking a shot at arc raiders here, might give the game a shot and then realize, oh, this is what an extraction shooter really is, not what was going on in solos for a lot of people in arc raiders. Whereas like arc raiders is it's an extraction shooter, but like it's just not an extraction shooter in the same way that all the other extraction shooters are. But that's the reason why that arc raiders is special for a lot of people, because they're like, oh, we can get on here and we can have fun and play ukulele and, have a band and run around together and make jokes and with all the people that I never even match made with, that we were supposed to be killing each other, but we're just not. We're just having fun and vibing, So some people don't want that out of an extraction shooter. Some people want to fight. Some people want the tension. So they want the challenge. And Arc Raiders doesn't give that to solo players that sneak around unless you're attacking everybody all the time.
Marathon a hit on the same level as Arc Raiders. One topic that came up in a lot of conversations at GDC this year was why Marathon hasn't hit the same stratosphere as Arc Raiders. On paper, they're both extraction shooters, and Marathon has the Bungie pedigree, the house that built the gold standard for gunplay in Halo and Destiny.
But bro, like this is, I don't understand how people in the industry cannot understand this. Y'all are in the industry, and it's not like before, like, social media, where nobody can know what a lot of people are feeling and what a lot of people don't like about the things that they're doing and what makes things different from another thing. It's like, dude, what? Like, how can you not see what the difference is between the two? It's like, you have Arc Raiders that has aggression-based matchmaking and caters to casual players who don't want to fight anybody, and that's a majority of players. A majority of players are not hardcore PvP players or even PvP players at all anyway. Like there are some people who are cool with PvP when it's in a team environment and they can blame somebody else, right? But like in this situation, that's why you can go into trios and everybody fights in trios. It's not really a problem, right? But in solos where people go in and they're like, oh, I don't want to get attacked by anybody. I want to sneak around. I want to do this. I want to try to get past people. And there are going to be some people who want to sneak around and get past people because they don't want to fight. There's some people that want to sneak around because they think it's more valuable to, or it'll be more useful to them to sneak around. Like me, I think it's more useful to have less fights, especially when you've picked up a lot of stuff and you're trying to extract, right? On the way in, when you don't have anything, everything is fine. You sprint around, do whatever you want. If you die, it is what it is, unless you brought in some really good stuff and you don't want to die with it and you want to fight with it, right? But if you bring in a free kit or whatever, and you know that you have unlimited free kits and people just keep going in with free kits, it's like, all right, well, they're going to go into free kit and then you can do whatever you want. You won't lose anything. But once you start picking stuff up and you're picking up stuff that you need and picking up stuff that you're going to sell, picking up a good gun here and there, something like that, once you want to leave, you have to be more careful, right? You got to be more careful. You got to move with, intention, right? Keep your head on a swivel so you don't get caught off guard by somebody that sees you and you don't see them because you're just running in a straight line, right? And they hear you running and they hit you with that first shot, they put you down, right? And it's just like, people don't realize that. But when you're arc raiders, you don't have to worry about none of that. Especially if you're sneaky and you're sneaking around and you're playing passive. They just naturally just throw you in those lobbies with everybody else that's being passive. No matter whether you're doing it because you don't want to fight anybody or you're doing it because you value the stuff that's in your backpack and you rather not fight, right? They're gonna push you into less aggressive lobbies, and you're just gonna be in these lobbies where nobody fights, and then it's gonna not make any sense for you to be sneaky because you don't have to be, because nobody's gonna kill you anyway. They're not even gonna try to fight you anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then you lose attention, you lose the whole fun draw of the game for some of the people, so then you don't want to play the game anymore. That's why I stopped playing arc raiders. So you have a lot of people that are cool with being in the game and not having to fight any other players and just teaming up with players or teaming up with the entire lobby to fight the arc, and that's where they have fun. And that a lot more players are going to have fun doing it that way than they are going to be PvPing players, right? Like that's why arc raiders has more players, whereas Marathon is more of a traditional extraction shooter where it's on site. Like there is going to be some times where sometimes people are starting to use prox chat. Sometimes I'll start to use prox chat, but only when I down somebody. And then you prox chat them, yo man, like what are you even doing over here, man? What are you doing? Like, right? Like, or people just trolling people, right? Like I saw a guy today, dude was like, yo, give me 3 booms and I'll drop you a self revive kit. Dude says boom twice and he blows his head off with his shotgun. And while he's down, mind you, right? It's just like, dude, it was funny, but god damn, like, why you do that to him, dog? Why you do that to him? He was already on the ground. You made him make sound effects and then blew his head off. You gave him a hope and then just ripped it away from him, dog. It's crazy. So like, doing stuff like that is not gonna necessarily bring a ton of players into the game. They're gonna be like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with those. All those players are sweaty. Those sweaty players, they're just tryhards, and I don't want to play that type of game, right? I'm gonna play on arc raid. Arc raiders are so much better than Marathon, and nobody says why they like arc raiders more than Marathon. They just say that it's a better game than Marathon, when it's like both of them are good games. It's just that one is for one type of player and one is for another type of player. Like, that's it.
Marathon's neon futuristic aesthetic also distinguishes itself from the gritty realism of Tarkov or the post-apocalyptic hope of arc raiders. But vibes can only get you so far for first impressions if the onboarding feels like a brick wall. Marathon is a sweaty PvP focused experience with a first-time user experience and UI that I can only describe as dreadful. Players are dropped into a complex ecosystem where the UI, though visually striking, is functionally uninformative.
I don't even, let me finish this real
Users
quick.
can manually hover over nondescript identical icons just to identify basic gear or weapon mods.
Bro, they act like you don't have to hover over anything in Arc Raiders to see what it is. They like what? I am appalled, right? Because look at this. Look at this. So when you first start playing Arc Raiders, the layout looks more simple than Marathon does. But like the layout is functionally the same. You have your stash over here. It's just not on this side. They then have a whole bunch of tabs down the side of this thing, right? That the same thing that Marathon has, right? All right. I brought up both of the inventory screens for both games, right? Both of the inventory screens for both games. At the top, it's just less. There's just less going on because stuff is more spread out, right? And there's just kind of less items in the backpack over here on this side. And there's like the same thing is going on, right? The same sort of thing is going on, except there's more things for you to pick from with on Marathon, right? So over here on, let's go to Arc Raiders, right? The stash is right here, right? And then you have these little tabs, right? To sort everything so that you could be like, okay, I only want to see these things. I only want to see the shields. I only want to see the weapons. I only want to see the ammo, right? You got the same things over here. These tabs are over here, right? To the side of the stash thing, right? This game auto sorts everything for you, right? I would kind of prefer that it not do that, but it literally auto sorts everything for you, so you never have to worry about sorting something or hitting sort or changing the category. Every time you stick something in your vault, it goes exactly where it's supposed to go, and they just move this stuff around to fit it into your vault where it's supposed to be. All the weapons are at the top, and then you have the smaller weapons down here on this side, this thing. Then you have the backpacks, then you have the shields, then you have your implants, and then you have like whatever is after that, and all the salvage is at the bottom, and then like the heals and stuff are down there, right? That's how they just sort everything for you. Very easy to understand if you just look at it for 2 seconds, right? In this, you don't even have everything sorted. And they're talking about nondescript items. It's like, dude, what is this? I know what it is because I played the game, right? If I didn't play the game, I wouldn't know what this is. I wouldn't know that this was a grenade. Well, I guess I would know it was a grenade because it has a grenade icon on it, right? So it's like they have this. It's like, well, what kind of grenade is it? I don't know. Guess what? I got to put my cursor over it to find out what it does, right? Then you got this. Oh, you got these magazines here. It looks like these magazines for guns. Oh, well, I don't know what guns they go to. I guess I should put the cursor over it to see what guns it goes to, right? Like, duh. Oh, well, what kind of ammo is this? I have no idea what kind of ammo this is if I'm coming into the game. You know what I have to do? Put my mouse cursor over it to find out what kind of ammo it is, because I don't know that it's light, medium, and heavy ammo right off the bat, right? I don't know that until I put my mouse cursor over it and it tells me. How do I know that this is not medium ammo and this is not light ammo? Who knows? How do I know which things go to what gun? You have to put your mouse over the gun. In this game, every gun has its ammo type posted right on it. I don't get where this is coming from. Right? Like, people, oh, I'm so confused. No, you just didn't look at the screen for more than 5 seconds and just take a deep breath, right? Like, literally, you have weapon attachments over here, 4 weapon attachments over here, right? And this gun has 4 weapon attachments on it. This gun has 3 weapon attachments on it and shows you what the weapon attachments are. You got to scroll over to see what they are, right? You have your safe pocket over here. We don't have safe pockets in Marathon, right? So then what else? What else is the same? Okay, so you got two weapons. Then you got your shields and you got shields here, but you got equipment, you got cores, and you got implants. Over here, you just have your shield and you have your backpack. Here, you have your shield and backpack. But in this game, the type of shield that you can use is dependent on the type of backpack that you're wearing. That's something that's more confusing than Marathon. Because in Marathon, it doesn't matter. You can just not wear a backpack and have whatever level of shield you want. You just put it in the shield slot, right? It doesn't matter. You can have a green backpack. You can have whatever one of these backpacks do. You can have one of these two backpacks. You can have a gold backpack and a green shield. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I wouldn't play a green shield with a gold backpack, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter what thing you have. It's more confusing on arc raiders because you have to know what type of backpack you can wear to wear a heavy or a medium shield. And then to that, some people don't know that the shields make you run slower because they're heavier on your back. There's things that they don't really tell you that, like, they don't really let you know that. Do they? Maybe they do, and I just didn't pay attention to it. But the difference is that, like, I notice it and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's right. This definitely makes you slower. You got to read the things. In both of these games, you have to read the tooltips to see what things do. So what is this whole thing about, oh, it's so much more confusing and you have to, it's forcing people to mouse over the items to see what the items do. You would have to do that anyway. What do you mean? You would have to do that anyway. There's a whole bunch of nondescript items in Arc Raiders. Like, people don't know what the hell this is when you first see it. You don't know what this is for. You don't know what it's used for. You don't even know whether you want to sell these things or not. Right? You don't know what this little tube thing is for right here. Right? You don't know what that's for until you run into something that you need it for. And you're like, oh, I shouldn't have broken those down. I shouldn't have sold them. Oh, I needed a bunch of those. The same thing happens in both games. Like, what why is it so much more confusing in Marathon when Arc Raiders does the same thing? It's just a bunch of BS that people are spewing all over the place about Marathon just because they want to put Marathon in the dirt for some reason.
Yeah, we were talking about the UI. If you look at like weapon mods, you do get like a little more familiar with it. Like, for instance, like bits per second. I guess at some point you're like, I can recognize bits per second, but most of the time you have to hover over it to even know what the hell it is, right?
Yes, you do. You do. That's like, it's like the other thing that you can do in this game, right? Is that something that I've found is that when I see something that I like, right? If I see an augment or something, or if I see an implant that I like, using a patch kit grants you increased weapon accuracy and stability for a short duration. Like, I don't really care too much about this neural stabilizer ability, but prime recovery plus 20, I do like that. So if I like that this has prime recovery plus 20, right? I'll just track it. If you track it, it puts a little green eyeball icon on it, right? And that will stay there as long as you don't untrack it, right? So that lets me know that this is something that I want. This is something that I like using, right? So then when you go into a map, right? And then you're picking through stuff and you see the implants pop up. When an implant pops up that has that is augment capacitor V2, like if it was this, if an augment capacitor V2 pops up anywhere in looting, right? This little green icon is going to be on it. I don't even have to read the augment to know that that's something that I like using because it has a green eyeball on it because I'm tracking it. Now, if I'm not tracking it, because I haven't gone through and done this in a while, but like sometimes I might pick up a bunch of stuff and then I just don't track it. But like all the blue stuff, I'm going to keep it anyway. But like some of the green stuff is like, some of the stuff I don't care about. But like when I'm deleting stuff, if I always go to the things that are not tracked first and hover over those things first, because most likely those are things that I really don't care about keeping. So then if I go through it, I'm like, okay, I don't want this one. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that, get rid of that. I know not to get rid of any of the things that have the little green eyeball on it. You know what that comes from just playing the game and realizing, oh, I can track this. So I'm going to use the tracker to mark things that I want to have as favorites. Now they can add a feature where maybe you can have favorites, right? where you can have a separate favorites and tracking thing where it's like you could put favorite on something and then you could put tracking on it, or you could put both on there. Or it's like you might be tracking certain things for like certain salvage or whatever. It might not be your favorite salvage to spend, but like it might be salvage that you're tracking, so you track it. But then you have augments and you have certain types, like you like the reinforced shields more than the other shields, right? So at least if you see a green shield that's a reinforced shield, but you have a ton of shields already, and you're like, oh, I have, I mean, you're gonna probably pick up a shield regardless, but like at least you'll see a little green icon on it and be like, okay, I know that's a reinforced shield, right? Because I tracked it because I like those shields better than the other ones, right? Just saying as an example, right? Same thing with cores. Cores all look very similar, except for, the ones that are not, that are for each runner. But like the gray cores look very similar. So if you do want to track the cores and you do want to use those cores sometimes, then you can just, especially if they have like materialist on them or something like that, right? You can just track it, right? Track the core if you like using that type of core. And then that way, when it pops up somewhere, you'll know that you don't even have to read it. You can save time and just throw it on, and then you can get to a safe place, then go into your inventory, see which one it was, right? Like that's what you can do. But this doesn't just happen in this game. This also happens in ARC Raiders. Like this, people find things and then don't know what to do with them until it's time to use them. And then after a while, you're like, oh, rusted gear. Like when we all transitioned over and everybody did their reset, everybody did their expedition, or not everybody, because everybody didn't do it. But the people that did their expedition reset everything, right? Went back to the beginning, had to redo all this stuff. Now you know what these items are for. You know what you need them for. You know that when you see a rusted gear, that you need to hold on to that. You know when you see a dog collar, you need to hold on to that, right, in the beginning, so that you can level up Scrappy. You know this stuff because you've been through it and you have to gain all this stuff. You didn't know what it was for at first, but then you learned what you needed it for, and now when you see these things, they register in your head like, I need that. I need to pick that up.
Do y'all feel like Marathon kind of drops you into the deep end too fast? Do you feel like the intro mission, like once you get past that, do you feel like you just get shoved into the deep end way too quickly? Kind of, yep, in a good way.
I don't need my game to hold my hand all the time. Like I don't need the game doesn't need to hold your hand all the time. It can nudge you forward a little bit by setting missions and things maybe that make you do certain stuff, like how it tells you to go to certain POIs and do certain things and then gather certain stuff and do stuff a certain way. Like you can take that as learning, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to teach you literally everything. It doesn't have to pop a thing up on the screen every time you pick up a new item and be like, hey, did you know that you can use this item for blah, 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 blah? Did you know all of the things that this item can do? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to do that.
A little bit, yes. Now, this lack of clarity is compounded by punishing mechanics like a severe heat gauge for movement and a scarcity of vital resources, all without a clear tutorial or a low...
Is it really that punishing? Is heat really that bad? It's just stamina. You have stamina in ARC Raiders. Like, what are we talking about here? You literally have stamina in ARC Raiders, and they have a way for you to mitigate the stamina loss in ARC Raiders. Like, you could use the thing, you stab yourself with it, your stamina goes all the way down, and then it takes a really long time for your stamina to go back up. We have cardio kick in this game that's just like that. There's two different types of cardio kicks, though. So it's like one of them is the depleted one, and that doesn't give you extra heat, but that reduces your heat or something like that, right? And then the other one is the good cardio kick that not only reduces your heat, but it gives you more heat gauge for you to do more things, right? And then you can synergize that with some of the other things. If when you read the tooltips and it says, oh, if you kill an enemy while you have the effects of cardio kick, it extends the cardio kick, right? Like, is that not straightforward? Like, do people just not read the deep end? Just read, bro. It's like I feel like I'm still in the deep end because I don't have a whole lot of time to play. And my deep end is more like I need to learn the maps. Like I need to learn the layout of all of the maps and the way things are laid out and where things are, so I know where to go when I drop into a map. There are already some things that I'm learning about the maps where I like when I go into a POI, there's some places in the POIs where I know that there are arms locker spawns in certain places that I know to go to and check, right? I don't know every spawn in every place and every type of thing and where everything spawns. But as you start doing these missions more and more, and you need to find these things more and more, you'll start to remember where this stuff is. And then when it tells you later in a new mission that you need to go find this thing and loot it, then you'll know where it is because you've done it 2 or 3 times already. So you're like, oh, I know where that thing is in overflow. I know which room to go in. I know where that room is. Because you do it over and over again, and if you're paying attention, you'll start to remember where the things on the map are.
Stakes mode to learn the ropes. Most people, even top streamers and veteran shooter players, have no idea what's going on in Marathon at first. Arc is
why do you need to? Why? Who knows what's going on in a video game? Who knows everything about what's going on in a video game when you first drop into it? Who? No one does. When you first drop into a video game, no one knows what's going on in the video game. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran fighting game player. New fighting game comes out, no one knows what the fuck is going on. No one knows. They have to sit there and learn and press buttons and then try things and figure stuff out and learn the frame data. And they have to do all this stuff. And these are vet fighting game players. I'm not even talking about casual fighting game players who get on there and just start mashing the buttons and just hitting stuff and just like, oh, I like this move, I'm gonna just use this move over and over again, I'm gonna just run at him and do this, right? And even in that, you're learning what's going on, but they don't even know what's going on and they just keep playing the game. Some people don't know what's going on in some of the shooters. I guarantee you most casual players have no idea what's going on at a like competitive level and like in a detailed oriented way in any of these games. Like in Call of Duty, I play Call of Duty all like I'm not gonna say I play it all the time, but in the past I played a lot of Call of Duty, right? But my friends were way more into Call of Duty than I was, and they knew a lot more about guns and attachments and what guns were good with what attachments, and you know how the gun felt to use and what guns were good and what guns weren't. I didn't know none of that. I just knew what I felt comfortable using as a gun, or what gun felt good to me, and that was all I really cared about. I just played the game. I didn't really look at anything about attachments or anything like that because I wasn't that deep into it. I just liked playing the game, right? I just liked playing with my friends and stuff. So, you know, I knew how to shoot, but I didn't really get down into the nitty gritty. Whereas like Valorant, I knew all the things about the characters. I knew how their abilities worked. I knew how to run certain plays. Like I knew how to do a lot more stuff and how the spray patterns work and how, you know, what guns beat what and what guns I should buy when, you know what I'm saying? Like how to keep your money up and how to make sure you're not buying and going broke, right? Like I know about that stuff because I played the game and I played it in a competitive way rather than just playing it casually and not really wanting to get better. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't understand people talking about something they don't, no one, or oh, even streamers and veteran players don't know what's going on when you first get dropped into the game. Why would anyone? Like you have to learn.
The complete other end of the spectrum, as we covered here, Arc Raiders offers a more collaborative, approachable loop where players often work together towards shared goals, and the objectives are instantly clear. To many players, this contrast only emphasizes Marathon's issues, especially during the testing period. Players understand the Arc Raiders loop within 30 minutes, while Marathon acts as a...
Who says they understand the Arc Raiders loop within 30 minutes? Who? Where are they getting this number from? Chewing up newcomers and spitting them out before they can experience the depth of Bungie's signature gunplay? People that are getting chewed up by the filter, people that are getting filtered out of Bungie's game, aren't the people that are going to experience the depth of Bungie's gunplay. What are you talking about? What are we talking about here? Players understand the loop of arc raiders within the first 30 minutes. Who? As if arc raiders, as if Marathon doesn't have a beginner, like a beginner thing where it's like, oh, well, you go into this map as a beginner and you play through this map. It's less players. It's probably like 3 or 4 players on the map or something like that, right? In solos, it's probably like 3 or 4 players on the map, and so that y'all don't really run into anybody that often. And then you got to deal with like UASC. Maybe UASC is a little lighter on the beginner map, you know, so that you could understand what you're supposed to be doing, running around the map a little bit, you know, taking it in, right? And then they kick you out the beginner's map after a certain point, and they let you loose into the regular map with all the players and all the UASC and all the stuff that you got to do, right? So what do you like? I don't understand. Like, where is this coming from? This don't even make any sense. The depth of Bungie's signature gunplay. If you're getting filtered, you're not going to understand the depth because you're not looking for the depth. If you were looking for depth of Bungie's signature gunplay and the depth of the game, then you're not going to get filtered out. You're going to keep playing.
A massive filter, chewing up newcomers and spitting them out before they can experience the depth of Bungie's signature gunplay. I'm not gonna lie, man, this is kind of on point when you think about it, boys.
No, it's not on point at all. I'm sorry, as to Cross, I cannot agree. We
could defend it all day.
I cannot
long.
agree.
Marathon is a great game. I really do believe that. However,
the filter is not the game. The filter is later. The end game is the filter, because I get filtered hardcore by the end game. I'm not going to be able to do cryo archive in any meaningful way. I don't feel like I will be able to do cryo archive in any meaningful way. I won't be able to fight the boss ever unless I get a solid team of people that will play the game with me consistently. I'm not, we will like it, and then we still might not ever do it because you got to be the best of the best, because the best of the best are in here trying to do this too, and they will chew you up and spit you out. Not to mention the amount of UASC that are in this thing. The numbers that I've seen people kill of UASC in this while also having to deal with players is crazy. But it makes for good content. It makes for good content for the game, good content for people to watch. It's like, all right, I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching people doing it. I would watch it more, but I like playing the game too. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't play the game, you're probably not going to like watching the game either. But because people was like, oh, the colors, I don't understand what's going on because of the colors. I don't get that what they're trying to do, even though they're talking about exactly what they're doing while they're commenting to each other what they have to go do next. I just can't understand what's happening. It's like they don't even try to understand what's happening, bro.
He's kind of got the same problem. The onboarding has never been good. Sounds like a skill issue. Sure, we can make
it is
right. I don't know, man. Let's continue. What I'm getting at here is that the poor first-time user experience of Marathon Server Sim likely stifled launch sales, while the opposite was true for Arc. Let's look at the pre-launch copies sold for each game during the...
This is what bugs me about gaming today. Gaming today, right, is all about selling more copies. It's not about whether the game is good or not. It's not about whether the game is challenging or not. We need to get more people playing the game, and we need to make more money. That's all they care about. It doesn't matter about making the game good. It doesn't matter about like being true to what the genre of the game is. It's like we got to figure out how to get into the genre and then pull people into the genre that don't really care about that genre but still make them want to play the game, right? And it's like they did it. They succeeded in doing that. They got a lot of casual players, the most casual of players, to get into a hardcore genre of game and treat it as if it is not a hardcore game at all, and it's just a fun time, just a fun vibes time in solos, and they found great way to separate the players and protect all of the people that don't want to PvP from all of the PvPers. They found out how to separate them like oil and water, bro. Like oil and water.
Respective server slams launch a line. Marathon struggled to convert demo players to pre-launch sales. All right, so you got Arc Raiders here, Server Slam there, and then Marathon Server Slam there. Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, Marathon is just, it's just such a hardcore game, guys. There's no safe pockets. You die, you lose.
That's crazy, actually, too.
It's also a first-person shooter, which I prefer. I do like first-person shooters, but there's no humanity in it. Most people, when I say most people, like 95% of everyone you come.
This is false. I'm going to say that there is humanity in it, right? There is humanity in it. It's just not, it's not incentivized, right? And it's technically, if you think about it, there's really no humanity in Arc Raiders either. But the reason why it seems like it's so much more in Arc Raiders is, one, there's more players, right? There's more players. That means there's more people for them to separate. And the majority of the players are going to be the casual players and not the hardcore players. It's going to be the casual players. So you separate the casual from the hardcore like oil and water, and they separate, right? All the PvP players float to the top, and everybody and all of the PvE players sink to the bottom, right? They separate, right? And then in this game, they don't separate anybody. There might be a lot of players, because I've run into players who are they don't seem like the hardcore type. Like I found an assassin. I feel like a lot of people are playing assassin because you can be invisible. So it might be a lot of assassins running around that are invisible, that are literally just hiding from everybody and not even engaging in PvP because they're like, oh, I don't want to PvP, but the best way for me to not PvP is to be invisible and hide. Right? I see somebody, I'm invisible. Oh, they can't see me. And let him go past. He goes past and you go about your way, right? That could be happening. And then I've run into people. I ran into somebody last night, and I'm never using prox chat. A lot of people are never using prox chat because when you start using prox chat, it start getting dicey, right? So it start getting dicey. That's when you start getting stabbed in the back. When you use prox chat, you open yourself up to getting stabbed in the back. So yesterday I run into a guy, right? And I had been trying to do this one mission all day. Well, not all day, for a few hours. I've been trying to do this one mission for a few hours, and they keep putting me across the map. And either I would get a kill and then try to get over there and would end up dying to somebody or something, right? And then eventually I got put on the side of the map on North Relay that I needed. And I was like, okay, I need to go to North Relay and do this thing. Went to North Relay, went upstairs, and then a guy was upstairs who I was just about to walk up to the thing. He pops around the corner and starts shooting me. And I'm like, dude, wait. I was like, just let me do this mission real quick. And then this last thing I gotta do, just let me do this real quick before you kill me. He stopped shooting at me. And I go to look at the thing to press the button, and there's no button. I didn't know that I had to go turn the power on first. So I didn't know. So it's like, oh, I don't know why I can't press the button. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So then I turned around to this guy, and I'm just like, man, I was like, just kill me, bro. Just go ahead. Just do it. Just get it over with. Just put me down like, this is what I said to him, right? And just put me down like a dog, bro. Just do it. Just do it. And he turns around and he runs off and he jumps out the window. And I'm like, why did he just run off? Why didn't he just kill me? Like, I was like, I didn't have anything, but like still, I was just like, he was gonna beat me and I wasn't gonna shoot him, right? So there was still some humanity there, right? And then I found the thing downstairs, turned the power on, came back upstairs, completed the mission, and then he hit the TAD. So I thought he had left. I saw him run off. He hit the TAD, and I got pinged, and then I went over there because I was like, if he left, that might be somebody else. So then he jumps back in the window. I go around the corner, I start shooting him, and then he runs back, and I'm like, oh, wait, is that you? Is that you? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, he's like, did you figure it out? And I was like, yeah, I did. It was the button was downstairs. I figured it out. And then I ran off. And I was like, there's still some humanity here. There's another guy I ran into. Dude was just hiding underneath he was hiding underneath Hauler. It was an assassin. He was just hiding under Hauler. And I'm like, what are you, like, I saw him. I shot at him. He just starts running back and forth. Real rat behavior, right? I have a short in my YouTube, on my YouTube channel of it, right? He runs to the side. I'm still trying to shoot him. He's behind something, so some of my bullets are not hitting him. I run out of bullets. right? I didn't want to reload because I thought he was going to pull his gun out and start shooting because I'm shooting at him, right? And then I pull out my knife, run up to him, and I stab him, and I put him down. And I'm just like, dude, what are you doing back here? He's like, I was hiding. I wanted to get to the extract, and I just stab him. And I just execute him. And I'm just like, there are casual players playing this game. They're just people that are just not that good at it. So they either might die really fast to UASC and we just never see them, or you kill them really fast and they don't really fight back, or they're hiding somewhere and they're trying to avoid everybody. Like, it's just not as many people because people don't want to give up what they got with Arc Raiders, where they don't have to PvP. They don't got to worry about it. They're like, I don't want to PvP. I don't have to worry about that in Arc Raiders and solos. So,
come across.
No.
Inside a marathon, shoot on sight. And the 5% that don't shoot on sight, you'll see they get killed. You know what I mean? There'll be a rook out there that's like, I'm friendly. And then they'll walk around the corner and they just get lost. Now, while both
that's wild.
Similarly in sales 3 weeks before launch, Arc saw a massive spike after its server slam, while Marathon saw just a small bump. Now, looking at the trajectory, Arc Raiders saw a massive 80% jump in copies sold during its 3-day server slam, day 13 to 11. Players jumped in.
Yeah, I bought the game right after I played the server slam.
Immediately opened their wallets. Marathon, meanwhile, saw a 49% increase in 4 days following its slam, day 7 to 3. At the time of each game's respective launch, Arc Raiders had nearly doubled the Steam footprint of Marathon, and word of mouth only continued to grow. I would say this right here is the story for Arc Raiders. It was word of mouth, man. It really was. Now, there were a lot of people that were jumping in.
It was word of mouth from a ton of casual players telling their friends to come in because they're like, oh, dude, you should come play this game, yo. You don't even have to fight anybody.
And were saying they were talking shit about it, but slowly you started to see those same folks convert. Now, Bungie could have had more time to fix the onboarding process had the beta happened earlier, but Marathon launched 3 days after the beta finished. These factors limited the launch sales quite a bit, I reckon. Yes, we even talked about that. Like, with the server slam being so close to the launch window, there was just not enough adjusting. You could do no adjusting, really, other than like from a technical sense. It's not like they could have added a different onboarding process at that point. Marathon has found a niche.
I low-key think that, like, even if they were to have the best onboarding process ever, everybody was so ready to hate Marathon that it didn't matter. The people that were interested in playing Marathon bought Marathon, right? They either had bought it beforehand or they bought it when they played the server slam and everybody was like, all right, cool, bet. I'm gonna buy this joint, right? They bought it. Then the people after that, there are people that bought the game after that that were probably buying it because their friends were playing it. And they were like, oh, yeah, you should play the game. The game's pretty good. I don't know what everybody's talking about. And then more people bought it, right? The onboarding wouldn't matter because the onboarding wouldn't have sold any copies because you would have to buy the game in order to onboard people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, do we not get that? Like, you can't sell the game because of the onboarding. You have to sell the game first, and then the people have to get onboarded. It's not, at that point, it's not about sales because if you can't sell the game to somebody if they don't want to play the game and they don't want to buy it, they can't get onboarded. You know what I'm saying?
Audience, though. Despite the friction-heavy start, the data suggests that those who survived Marathon's onboarding are loving life. We've been tracking cross-platform DAUs, and while there's the expected post-launch leakage, many players are sticking with it. After peaking at 478,000 total DAUs on its first Saturday, Marathon has settled into a respectable,
I don't know what DAUs is.
345 DAUs as of yesterday, and averaging 380,000 DAUs across the weekend. Daily active users.
Oh, daily active users.
Continues to do the heavy lifting here, consistently accounting for the lion's share of the daily players. Players have been putting in the hours in too. On Steam, Marathon's average playtime has climbed to 27.8 hours, significantly outpacing the console average on PS5 at 16.5 hours and Xbox 17.3. What in the world? Fellas, this story is actually deeper, man. The console community just didn't show up.
Because they don't play extraction shooters. There are like no extraction shooters that I can think of on console. Tarkov is not a console game. What else? Freaking except for the Division, Arena Breakout Infinite, I also think it's not a console game. Arc Raiders is the only console game, and the reason why Arc Raiders is it's a casual game. It's super casual. You could play super casual. You don't have to PvP at all in this extraction shooter because nobody fights in solos. So you could play and have a buddy time with everybody and run around and jump around and vibes. Vibes Raiders is what Solos is.
Steam is at is where I'm actually surprised where Steam is at. But, you know, I was just expecting the console population to show up in a big way. But
well, why? Well, why would you?
Don't even have a higher return.
All the console players, most of the console players, I'll say most of the console players are probably casual gamers. A lot of people move to PC. Like I'm sure a lot of people move to PC. Xbox don't care about Xbox anymore. And PlayStation players, there's no, like I said, there's just no extraction shooters. Console players don't play extraction shooters.
Attention than the PC players. Console players are casual gamers. Why is this surprising? That's a great point. That is a great point. No offense, console guys, but most consoles are a bit more casual. I got my friend who is a chiropractor and has played Destiny for years. Doesn't want to play Marathon simply because it's hardcore as f. To him, the thought of obtaining loot and then losing it was like the most unappealing thing to him. Now, this data suggests that once the Bungie magic clicks, it hooks players deeper than the average extraction shooter. There's also started to be a shift in the game's discourse. Marathon launched as one of those games that's cool to hate. But as Marathon's 100-hour club grows,
my God,
we're seeing conversations around its mechanical merit outweigh the negativity. Several high-profile creators who were initially vocal critics have spent the last week coming around on the mechanical depth of the end game. As a subtle but positive signal, the hate train is losing steam and a new narrative about the game is emerging. Bungie's faithful unite. Another interesting metric in Marathon's first week is who exactly is playing. Bungie leans heavily on its prestige as the makers of Halo and Destiny in its marketing, and that message has clearly hit the mark. On Steam, the gravity hammer of Bungie's previous work is unavoidable. A staggering 78.2% of Marathon players also played Destiny 2. Jesus. The trend carries across other platforms, with 74.2% of PlayStation 5 players and 82.7% of Xbox players also having played Destiny 2. The Halo legacy lives on, it seems. More on that in a bit. While Destiny 2 went free to play, these numbers still represent a high intent migration of a fan base that trusts Bungie's specific brand of kinetic gunplay and cryptic world building. Look at this, guys. So Marathon players on Steam, what else have they played?
What else have they played? I've played Helldivers 2. I played Arc Raiders. I played Halo Infinite. I played Battlefield 6. I think I have the Master Chief Collection. I'm pretty sure I have the Master Chief Collection because I feel like I played it, but like I didn't play it a ton, but I have it. So I played Battlefield 6, and I only played Battlefield 6 because I think one of my friends was getting, I think my friend got a new computer and he bought Battlefield 6, and I was like, all right, well, that's the closest I'm gonna get to playing a shooter with him. So I was like, all right, I'll get it. And I got Battlefield 6. I had a lot of fun playing Battlefield 6. I just don't play it right now. Halo Infinite is a whole nother story. Halo Infinite, I think, is a solid game. Like, it's Halo. I like it. It feels like Halo. It's Halo. But like the way they packaged Halo Infinite as a game and with its rewards and all that kind of stuff, it's trash. The way they force you into some of the game modes so that you can earn some of the rewards is trash. I don't know if that changed at all, but I remember that when I wanted to earn points on one of the events, right? I was not allowed to just play regular Halo. I had to play the event modes. And I'm like, I don't want to play the event modes. I just want to play regular Halo. I just want to play some team deathmatch, just some Slayer, you know what I mean? So to force me to play all these other modes that I don't want to play to get the rewards, it's like, all right, well, I don't even want the rewards that bad. So I'm just going to go play Slayer. And I think I maybe played to a certain point, and I'll just like begrudgingly playing the modes just to get the points. But like, I'm like, why are they forcing me to play? Why don't it's clearly people came to play the game. So why don't y'all just let people play whatever they want to play to earn the points through the time that the event exists? And that way people will get on and play exactly what they want to play, and they might stick to the game even more because y'all are letting them earn experience points for the pass, for the event pass, through just playing some Slayer, playing some ranked. You know what I mean? Like, instead of having to play shoddy snipers or whatever, even though like those game modes are probably fun, right? They're probably fun, but when you're forcing me to play them for the event, it's like, dog. And then I gotta play the playlist, so it's like I don't even get to play the one that I like the most the whole time. I gotta play the playlist that just has all of these different modes in it. I gotta play all these different modes, and it's just like, I don't want to play all of these different modes. Let me just play this one. Can I just play this one? No, you got to play all the modes for the event. Get people to play all the different modes and experience all of it. No, don't force people to play the game the way you want them to play the game. Make the game and then let people come into the game and play the game how they want to play the game, and people will stick to the game more, right? And then not to mention their freaking their battle pass. Their battle pass was dog water, but I'm not going to get into that right now.
78% play Destiny 2, 62 Helldivers, dude, this is definitely in line. Arc Raiders 55%, Halo Infinite 52, Battlefield 6 44, and then Halo, the Master Chief Collection 36%. This is pretty much in line. I mean, when you guys, the games y'all wanted me to play, think about even like what we've covered here on the channel. A lot of Helldivers, a lot of Arc Raiders. We jumped into the Halo games, and y'all made me play Battlefield 6. And then, of course, Destiny 2. I didn't expect Helldivers, but I guess the game was really big. Oh, Helldivers is massive, dude. I mean, think about it.
I don't understand. That's the thing. Okay, so here's a game that drops me into, and I don't know what I'm doing, right? And I gave the game a long chance. I still like the idea of Helldivers 2. I still want to play Helldivers 2. But as a solo person playing Helldivers 2, it's like I drop in and it's like, all right, well, where am I supposed to go? What am I? Because like the idea is that you're a very small part. You're just one guy. Like, you're not even just one guy. You're a guy, and then you die, and then they send in another unit, and you control that guy, right? Like, so what I'm saying is, like, it's disposable guys. Like, you're just a bunch of disposable guys, and it's like, all right, well, to me, it feels like I'm not making an impact, right? Like, my impact is going into the thing and finishing a mission, and that is not shown like at all. To me, the progression that you have is literally just your I guess just the things that you unlock that you have access to. I don't know what else your progression is other than the battle pass things, right? So that's something that I don't understand. But I don't think that Helldivers is a bad game because it didn't latch into me, right? It didn't latch into me like it latched into a lot of other people. And I think it's just because I don't have I don't have friends to play with consistently, right? Like, okay, let me not say that, because there is one person that will play the game with me, but it's just like, I still don't understand the game, all right? I still don't understand what my progression is. Like, is like, it's not a PvP game, so I'm not like, and it's not like, it's just a PvE game. But I don't feel like I'm necessarily making progress at all, except for unlocking the upgrades for my character. That's it. Like, I don't even feel like I necessarily get better at the game to the point where I can like not die. I don't know. Like, it's a weird, like, it's like playing Helldivers 2 is a weird feeling for me. Like, it's a hard PvE game. And I would want to just play solo, but I feel like when I play solo on an easier difficulty, there's nothing to do. But when I play it on a difficulty that's a little too hard, I'm just going to die a lot. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. It feels like I'm dropped into, like everybody else says, I'm dropped into this thing, and I don't even know like what to do. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do the quest that they want me to do, try to do that, and then, you know, extract with some of the I guess do you extract, or you just beat, like, I guess you technically do extract. You go you get like the little resources or whatever, and you use the resource colors, and you unlock new things for your Helldiver guy. Like, I think that's a game that you need friends to play with, because when I'm playing with people, it's way more fun. The first time I've ever played the game, I definitely was dropped into the deep end because my friends were already playing the game a lot. I got the game late, and then they went to super Helldiver mode or whatever, or super whatever hard mode, and it was hilarious. It was fun, but like trying to go back and play the game myself, it's like, okay, well, where do I start? Like, is there a place that I start? Or I just pick a spot and I just go. I just pick a spot and dive. Like, either way, I feel like I'm not moving the needle of the percentage at all for me. You know what I mean?
Honest, there was like a 30-day period where all of us, like every Destiny player I knew, stopped playing Destiny and played Helldivers. Some of those guys even come back. Look, man, Helldivers, I don't think y'all realize how big. Like, I'm just letting you know from just our videos.
Because it's a PvE game. It's a PvE game. And you can play it super, super casually, or you can get hardcore, right? How many people do you think are playing the hardest difficulties in the game? How many people do you think are playing the hardest difficulties in Helldivers 2? Not many. I bet you a lot of the casual players are playing on easier difficulties and just having fun running around with their friends. Some may be playing on slightly harder difficulties when they team up together and just having fun trying not to die, right? Like, that's what it is. You need friends for this game. If I had friends to play this game consistently, like a group of people who were just into it and we were all starting from the beginning and we were just having fun playing the game, I'd play the game. It'd be dope. But unfortunately, that's not what I have. That's not what I have. I have one person that plays Helldivers. It's one person. He's just one guy that plays Helldivers.
Popping, brother. I mean, Helldivers was popping. And look, I went into that game thinking it was going to be a meme, especially considering the trailers and stuff. But that game was popping. Arc Raiders did pretty good too. But Helldivers was really popping. And it also just made sense for a Destiny player that loves PvE. So many went to Helldivers. Now, the Xbox data adds another layer of legacy. About 85.7% of Marathon players on Xbox have played Halo Infinite, while over half the Steam audience has spent time in Halo Infinite and 36.1% in the Master Chief Collection, a paid collection of the old Bungie-made legacy games. Interestingly, we see a 55.9% overlap with Arc Raiders on Steam. Overlap is even higher there on PlayStation at 60.5% and Xbox 66.5%. And there's also significant crossover with Helldivers 2 on all platforms. Bungie has found some of its fans with Marathon, and the challenge now is keeping this engaged in a high-stakes PvP environment when they've spent the last decade primarily enjoying the power fantasies of PvE. On that note, go the full 26 miles or cut and run. Time for...
But that doesn't mean that the people who enjoyed Destiny all don't like to PvP. Destiny is just, it's like maybe they didn't play all of Destiny PvP all the time. Maybe a lot of those people dabbled in the PvP. Maybe they just didn't feel like doing the PvP stuff. But just because they played Destiny 2 and they played, Halo, and they played all these other PvE games, doesn't mean that they don't like a challenge in a PvP game. Like, that doesn't mean that they don't like that. Maybe they're just looking for the right one, right? People that played Halo Infinite, it's like, I feel like most of the people that probably play Halo Infinite were playing multiplayer PvP, like not the main game. Because I never bought Halo Infinite. I only played the multiplayer PvP. Like, and I'm pretty sure that most people that have Halo Infinite don't have the full game. They just have multiplayer PvP.
Some could have, should have, and would have. These things would have improved Marathon's performance at launch. A more robust onboarding process, perhaps in the form of a short single-player PvE campaign. We know Bungie fans loves this stuff. What if Bungie would have added like some sort of like small Marathon campaign that is somehow connected to the original trilogy? But why? I don't know, dude. There's actually a lot of like lore lovers out there that love Marathon for that. You know what I'm saying? All right, secondly, a traditional arena-based mode akin to Destiny's Crucible could have been a bridge for the cautious players who have been otherwise deterred by the server slam. It's also a great palate cleanser after getting murked. Introducing a dedicated PvE environment would have similarly diversified the conversation and lowered the barrier for the Bungie faithful who found the pure PvP extraction loop too abrasive. PvE is safer than PvP these days. I'm gonna be honest. I think
PvE is safer than PvP. No shit, bro. Like I like it's safer. It's safer. As if it's too dangerous to play a PvP game. It's too dangerous. I can't be playing a PvP game. It's too dangerous. There's people in there that will kill my character and take my stuff. That's dangerous. Why would I want to play such a dangerous game? It's like, bro, stop. It's safer these days. What do you mean these days? Like, what? It's frustrating, man. This is frustrating to listen to. Like, and the crazy thing is, I'm not even that good. I just like the challenge. I just like the trying to get better at something, right? I like trying to get better at the thing and trying to improve. But people don't care about that. Like, people don't care about that. They just want everything up front. They just want everything on a silver platter. It's like, no, I just want to enjoy myself. I don't want to have to sweat all the time. Go play something else. There's other games out there, bro.
I think the reason why you didn't see much of a PvE side of this game, Bungie's in a weird situation where they could be eroding one game for another. And you already see it happening right now with Marathon and Destiny. But if you lean too much on the PvE side, even something as simple as, you know, like a dedicated loot pool or something like that, I think there was some concern that they would lose too many Destiny players to Marathon. And then you're in this weird situation, kind of like semi-competing with yourself. Now, there's an argument that a thin PvE mode would have just felt like a budget Destiny, potentially hurting the brand more. But given how dire the FTUE is, I think it would have been a net positive. Any kind of tutorialized loop that demystifies
first time user experience. Bro, if y'all don't type this whole thing out, y'all be writing articles. Just type the thing. Just type it out.
the stakes, really. While there is merit in a studio sticking firmly.
Oh, they typed it out here. They typed it out here. They should have typed it out in the beginning, the first time they used it, and then use FTUE later. Whatever.
To a singular creative vision and going all in on the hardcore extraction loop. Less forgiving is the technical reality is that the user interface and the first time user experience were not at a commercial standard for launch. I mean, guys, look, I've had open conversations with some of the devs at Bungie, specifically Marathon developers. They really prided themselves on just how difficult the game is. You know, they really prided themselves on its difficulty, it's the competitive nature of it. They liked that Marathon was going to be like the ultimate challenge, especially when you talk about Cryo Archive, of which I also like. I love that aspect too. But even Destiny, even though it has very difficult raids, still has a patrol space, still has strikes, still has, you know.
This is not that game. This is not Destiny. This is not meant to be that.
You know, like these small areas where one can dip their toes and not be just thrown into the deep end. And someone here will say, well, Cross, that does exist. Perimeter exists. Dire Marsh exists. They're still kind of the deep end, you know? Now, in a landscape where player time is oversaturated and the most contested currency, a flawed FTUE is a critical failure point. But it's not all doom and gloom, as Marathon has an incredible, unique gameplay loop, suggesting that financial success is still attainable if Bungie can pivot effectively. Bungie and PlayStation now faces a difficult strategic crossroads, though one within a challenging games market. They could double down on Marathon with a long-term Rainbow Six Siege or No Man's Sky style recovery plan, which is something I heard Last Stand's Media's Chris Maldonado mentioned last week. While this could be a sunk cost fallacy in action, it could eventually yield the audience the game's mechanical depth deserves. They could shift focus toward the inevitable Destiny 3 or another project, mitigating the escalating.
I'm so frustrated that like this is where games are going, right? This is where games are going. This is the publishers of the games, the people who want the games to hit a certain metric or whatever. And it's like, if the game is making a profit at all, that should be good enough, right? If the game is not tanking and people are not talking trash about it all the time, and there are people who are really like into the game and the general consensus of the game is that it's good, give it some space, let it breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything doesn't have to be a smashing success in the beginning of its lifespan, right? As long as it has a solid base and it's a good game and people are having fun with the game, let the game cook, bro. Let it cook. This is not one of those games that came out and was a buggy, nasty mess at release. Like, we've had plenty of those. Those are bad. That's what we want to not happen. This didn't happen with this game. This game's servers were fine. Granted, because like not a lot of people are playing it, but like usually when a multiplayer game comes out, or like MMOs, usually this happens with an MMO comes out, and on release, the servers are bogged down because they're getting super slammed super hard. But that's what you want in an MMO. You want the servers to be getting slammed so hard that you can't get in, because that means that people want to play the game. If your servers are not getting slammed so hard that people can't get in, then it's like, but this is an extraction shooter, so it's a niche genre, so we're not looking at, you know, the servers getting slammed so hard that people can't get in. Same thing with fighting games. That doesn't happen with fighting games either. Like, it's usually the bigger games where it's supposed to be a lot of people on one server. Those kind of games, the servers get slammed super hard and you can't get in. You gotta be in a queue. People take off of work because they want to get ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what happens. But, bro, all the publishers care about. And it's like, oh yeah, because it's a business, blah, blah, blah. All they care about is the money. And it's like, they're always trying to figure out, how can we squeeze more money out of the players? And how can we gotta force the devs to make sure that they make this game that's going to just blow everyone out of the water, or we're gonna shut them down if it's not a smashing success. It's like, that's a great way to incentivize your freaking, you know, teams and your dev teams to do good, right? Is to threaten to fire everybody if they don't make you $1 billion in the first 2 weeks of the game. Like, come on, bro. Like, if you realize what drives people to play games, make the games that people want to play. Make things that people want to play, and regardless of whether it is a smashing success, if it is making you a profit, you're good. Let it cook. Let more people see that other people enjoy it, and other people will start getting their friends to play. People will start, you know, being more interested in it. Support the game more. Give changes to things that people want because they're like, oh, you know, I think this would be fair to make this change. I'm not talking about like, you know, big sweeping changes and that people ask for, but like little things like, oh, a sort button, so I can like I don't have to turn off auto sort if I want to, like stuff like that, right? If you give people little things that they want, right, in the game, then more people will play the game. More people will see that they're supporting the game. More people are playing the game. More people will then be interested in playing the game. And as you go on for, you know, a while, then more and more people will start playing the game, and you'll start to drag in more and more people. And when you treat the player base well, the player base will continue to play your game. They will continue to come back. They will continue to spend money on your game because they want you to succeed. But if the people at the top are like just basically rooting for the game to fail, like the people at the top are like, oh, if you don't make us $20 million by next week, then we're gonna kneecap all of your dev team. Like bro, like what are we doing here? The same thing. I was just listening to the other thing. Jeff Kaplan, right? He left because he told him, oh, I forget exactly what the wording was, but it was basically, if your game doesn't hit a certain metric by this time, then we're gonna fire 1,000 people. And it's going to be on you. Oh, that's a great thing to say to the person who is the face of your game and wants nothing but the best for the game and wants more for it and wants it to succeed, right? And he's like, you know what? Screw y'all. I'm out of here. Because he probably has enough money to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to be hurt. He'll definitely be able to find another job. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't do that in every job that they're in. But like when you treat somebody like that at a place like this, like in one of these companies, and they're just like, and they're like one of the people that wants everything to succeed, and they put everything into it, it's just like, why would you threaten them like that? Like that's what video games is about now with these big companies. Are y'all dumb? Like y'all gotta be dumb up there. At the top, everybody is just stupid. I don't know how they got all the way up there, but just because they're up there doesn't mean that they're so smart. It's like they just had the right connections, and they were just in the right place at the right time. That's what I feel like happened with them, because it seemed like a lot of people at the top are just stupid and don't understand what people want out of games to make the money.
Opportunity costs and cutting their losses, so to speak. Doing both is an expensive proposition given the high overhead and burn rates of operating out of Bellevue, Washington. With Sony recently
Bellevue, I'm there every day.
Studios and projects, the margin for error has vanished. This is tough, man. I definitely respect the vision of Marathon and what it's bringing here. However, I think Destiny 3, you should full send it. I think Destiny 3 is worth the full send. I think so.
Do not make them rush Destiny 3. I promise you, do not make them rush Destiny 3. Y'all better just chill out. Y'all better just chill out and let them cook. Do not make them rush that game. Let them cook on that game as if it was GTA 6. Because GTA 6 delayed again. And then it was like, we're supposed to get it at the end of this year. If they go delay it again, I don't care. Let them delay it again. Because I want to make sure that they got enough time to do exactly what they want, and they want their vision for the game to be good, and they don't want to have to rush it out and it not be finished, and then people have these super high expectations for that game and then they can't meet it. I think that's stupid. So they need to just let them cook on the game and don't rush them. Let them have as much time as they need. Sony, man.
So many people would pick up a D3. I might be a little greedy here. Both. We just try to do both. You know what I mean? And also the other side of things is like doubling.
No, don't try to do both. Do not try to do both. If you do both, you hurt both games. Do you understand? You hurt both games. Let them get Marathon squared away. Let them get Marathon off the runway into the air, you know, at a cruising altitude. And once they get to cruising altitude, then they can go full on Destiny 3. Work on Destiny 3. Don't say nothing about Destiny 3. Announce Destiny 3. Put a beta out or something like that. Don't let anybody stream the beta or put content out about the beta. Let the beta happen. Let people play the beta, and then just literally make it good. So everybody's like, yes, this is it. This is the game. We can't really talk about details, but like, this is it, right? Let them make the game that everybody wants to play. Because if they are making D3, I guarantee Marathon is the stepping stone that they need to do that. If you think about it, companies usually do something before they make their next game to try out things for the next game. Like in Street Fighter, they took Luke in Street Fighter 5. They put him in Street Fighter 5. He was a Street Fighter 6 character. They put him in Street Fighter 5. And they tried things out on him in that game and how they wanted things to be so that they could test it out for Street Fighter 6. They probably are doing Marathon, right? Making Marathon, getting Marathon to a cruising altitude, and using Marathon as a testing ground for things that they will want to do in Destiny 3. I want Destiny 3 to be solid. I want it to feel new. I want it to feel good. I don't want it to feel like I'm just playing Destiny 2 again. I want it to feel like a brand new, polished, beautiful game. You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all make them rush Destiny 3 and then Destiny 3 is not good and then y'all complain about it, it's like y'all wanted them to rush the game. Y'all wanted them to full send the game, bro. It's more PlayStation's fault because PlayStation is notorious for what? Like shutting down studios when they don't do well. It's like this is different. Y'all acquired Bungie. Bungie has been doing just fine. Right, I'm sure these other studios have been doing just fine too. But you brought them on to do what they do, and if you close the studio or you're threatening the studio with they need to make a knock it out of the park with everything that they put out, it's like, bro, give them some breathing room. Y'all don't need everything to be a smash hit. Some stuff can be just good. It could be just a good game that they put out. And the people that play it love it. We have a strong community of people playing the game. But let Destiny 3 cook.
Now, marathon, what does that even mean? You know, what does that really mean here? You got the money? I mean, look, man. No. But you've got buyers. You've got buyers. We would buy a D3. I don't really know about Marathon though. Like, I love Marathon. It scratches so many things that I never knew needed to be scratched. It is the extraction shooter I didn't know I need. But at its core, it will always have this hardcore gameplay loop. I would say this right now. If Bungie came out right now and said, okay, Marathon, you have safe pockets. You think that's really going to turn the tide? You know what I mean? You think that's really going to make people pick it up? You say, okay, Marathon adds PvE. Let's just be real. The PvE is just not going to stack up in comparison to Destiny. You know, Destiny, it really nails the hero fantasy. People hate the art style. Most of the hate is about it not looking like boomer shooters. I don't really know. Like, people really hate the art style that much. I actually like Marathon's art style.
People don't like the art style. I feel like they use that as an excuse of why they don't want to play the game. They don't say, like, they're not going to say they don't play the game. They don't want to play the game because it's too hard. They're not going to say they don't want to play the game because it's, you know, they don't want to lose their stuff or they're scared to play like a distraction shooter. Like, they're not going to say any of that because they've played Arc Raiders and they're like, oh, Arc Raiders is so good. What do I need Marathon for? I really can't get with the art style of Marathon. I really can't, you know, the UI it's just too confusing. Oh, the colors too bright. The items I don't know what all the items do when I first look at the items when I first fire up the game, and I've never played it before. I just don't know what the items I don't know what they did. Like, that's what that's people's excuse. Like, it's like if you don't like extraction shooters or you don't want to play extraction shooters, just say you don't want to play extraction shooters. That's fine. Like, you don't have to tiptoe around it because people will think that you're like a pansy for not wanting to play Arc Raiders. I mean, not wanting to play Marathon. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so I actually think it's a sexy game. Look, man, like, I just think people got shit on, dude. I'm truly, I think this is what happened. I think a lot of people picked up the game. A lot of people play the damn server slam, and they just got shit on, dude. They did. Into the game. They walked into a building and a bunch of claymores killed them. And then they loaded back in another game and a damn bot sucked them off. I think people just got shit on and said, you know what? What am I doing this for? I'm gonna get a bunch of good loot just to die and lose it? There was like a period there after the first day I played.
What happened? They came from Destiny 2, loaded in Arc Raiders, and tried to treat the UESC like they were the rest of the all of the enemies in Destiny 2, like all the little ads in Destiny 2, where you can just get hit by a bunch of them and it doesn't really make that big of a difference, right? But you could just take out like a whole bunch of them and you just bang and you just shooting them, fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just taking out enemy after enemy after enemy, wave after wave in Destiny 2, and then like one bot punches you he zips up to you, punches you in your face, and it takes a little shots, dashes off. You chasing him down, he backing up, shooting at you, and it make you look dumb. And then another one runs around the corner, busts you in the face, and then another shield dude hits you. They down you, and then they put their tendrils in you, and they just suck you off. And they're just like, yo, what is this? Because when I first started playing the game, I was like, damn. I was like, the enemies seemed a little too tanky. They a little too tanky. It wasn't the fact that I felt like they were difficult to beat. It was just that like, yo, like I only have this amount of bullets in the free kit. So like, why am I dumping my entire inventory of bullets into this one enemy and now I don't have any bullets left? It was just like, dog, I can't even fight back. Like, bro.
In a server slam where I really just sat there and I was like, I remember I ended the stream and I sat here and I was like, man, what is Bungie trying to do here? What are they really trying to do here? I was like, I like the gunplay, you know, but like I feel just incredibly weak. And then the next day I got up and I loaded up the stream and I started playing again and I started getting a few more upgrades and suddenly, I don't know, something just clicked. Something weird just clicked and it was like, all right, no, you're not the main protagonist from the original Marathon trilogy. You're just a runner. You're expendable. You're meant to die. It's why all the trailers you were shown was you dying. And with each death, you're supposed to get a little bit further and get a little bit better. And it was like, okay, I'm not the hero here. I'm just a scavenger essentially. And I'm just trying to, it's like a game of just trying to move a little bit further, inch by inch with every match. And so I think it really, for a Destiny player with a ghost that revives you and with a number of abilities at your fingertips, which takes you all of like a couple quests to get, it's a big difference. Now, whatever happens, the next 6 months will determine whether Marathon becomes a cornerstone of Sony's live service portfolio or a cautionary tale of vision exceeding accessibility. I'm hoping it's the former because Marathon rocks. As always, hit subscribe to get updates on Marathon and other relevant games.
All right. I think I'm gonna stop it here because this is already an hour and a half of me like talking about this, and you should get what I'm saying here, right? If you want to watch the rest of his video, I'll put the video in the description, and you can watch the other half of his video. But I already had a lot to say, and this I could easily go on for another hour and a half because I like to talk about stuff, and that's why this is another podcast episode at this point. So, dude, if you like the video, if you stayed this long and you like hearing me talk about stuff like this, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. And I've been trying to put out more videos, and I've been putting out shorts now. And, you know, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and probably the weekends. Unless I'm doing something on the weekend, then I probably won't stream on the weekends. But most of the time, I'll probably either stream on the weekends or I'm doing something else, whatever. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the days you can find me streaming on Twitch and TikTok. And if you do, if people want to see me stream on YouTube instead of Twitch, I would do that. I just need to see that people want me to do that. Because right now, unless somebody can help me with the settings that I would need to stream on 3 platforms at the same time without me using up, I guess, all my computer resources and it hitching and stuff. Because when I try to stream to 3 places, the streams they're not smooth. Like, it just drops frames like crazy. So I only stream to 2 places at a time. But if there's something that I'm doing wrong, please let me know, because I've never really tried to stream to 3 places at once. I feel like I've done it kind of with vertical, where I've streamed 2 vertical places and one main on Twitch, but I would rather stream 1 main on Twitch and main on YouTube and then vertical on TikTok. But if anybody can help me out, let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.